wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody know the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. A delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One issue I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, some idiot keep forking it out the root. Make country flowers in there, fork it up. Make country produce in there, fork it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of the politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who talking up me country. Riding on me donkey, transportation bliss. Me fireside bubbling a goodie. I hear rioting in the gas crisis. Surrounded by wild animals. What a vicious pack. But none of them does launch an attack. None of them poison us like invert and sap. The hunt always on, I could say that much. And true, can switch it off like crime watch. My mission now is to put a stop to whosoever fucking me country up. Some say a man named Eric, George, Robbie and Patrick. Some say Capildeo, Fadis, Kamla Basteo. Old man Bedu said they said nothing new. They fucking up long before 1962. If Butler was around, he might have tell we directly who fucking up me country.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Rebuttal, the voice of the underdog. I am your host, Douglas Wattley. If you are in the St. Kitts and Nevis diaspora, or if you are in St. Kitts and Nevis at this point in time, still under a state of emergency, I am pleased to have you in the audience this evening. I want to say a special good night to my ardent listener and friend in Montreal, Canada, Miss Avanel Donna Powell. I know you are tuned in, so I know you will get my greetings firsthand. Pleasant good evening to you, and I hope you're enjoying the weather. Now, a lot of you have been communicating with me, and you realize that I have not been responding. And this started just before the election. I got disconnected from my WhatsApp. I had a message that says that my WhatsApp was outdated. And then when I tried to update it, all kind of problems start. And so I got locked out of my WhatsApp with my St. Kitts number. And so you cannot call me on my St. Kitts number, and you cannot WhatsApp me on my St. Kitts number. I forgot to tell you this a while back, right? But I'm glad that I remembered to say it this evening. So if you want to continue to communicate with me, please send me your number on Messenger, and I will add you using my new number. So contact me using Messenger and give me your number. The problem I had was that I did not put a lot of the names into my address book. And so I'm not able to retrieve your number and put it with my new WhatsApp number, right? So I apologize to you if you had been trying to get me. Some people got real frustrated. Some people got concerned. But then when they heard me on radio on Wednesday, they knew I was alive. So they figured it must be something. So contact me and let me put your name in my address book, and then we would be okay. I learned when I was setting up this new WhatsApp, I learned that the address book always transfers. You understand? And so it's not the WhatsApp that transfers necessarily, but the even if you change your number, the address book transfers. And so you could always go in and put back in those numbers, and you would be able to indicate to the people that your number and WhatsApp have changed. But I didn't realize that I wasn't putting your numbers in my address book. So let's fix that, and we could resume our communications. In fact, I have a friend who had only been introduced to the rebuttal just after the election. And so I am presenting the rebuttal, and she is there making comments on my WhatsApp, the WhatsApp she knew, the WhatsApp she thought that I still had, and she was there critiquing the show and, giving me a little boost here and there, right? And she didn't know that I wasn't getting the messages. But we got caught up, and she sent me all the messages that she was sending me, so I knew she wasn't lying. I knew she was tuned into the rebuttal. Her only problem is that she tuned into the rebuttal a year late. So all those good shows that we had prior, she didn't have the benefit of those shows. But good night. I know you know who I'm speaking about. Have a good evening, and I hope you enjoy the show this evening. Now, somebody asked me just after the election when I'm coming home. Some people say, "Boy, you know, come home, Some people ask me when I'm coming home. Remember, no me lock myself out, It's them lock me out and then start to brag who out, stay out, who in, stay in. Turns out that a lot of people who in right now wish they could come out, And not very many people who are out really so keen and coming in. So they asked me when I gonna come home. And I said, not under 3 months after the election. They asked why. I said, well, when you think about it, I am still the villain. I am still that mumu fella from Kean who was trying to change the government, I am still that fella who was telling Oyo that Team Unity ain't what appear seed. Then lo and behold, Oyo still went go vote for Team Unity, But you see the way saying for the Swift, because I know them people in a Team Unity. I know how they be. And so when I say me ain't coming home under 3 months, you know why I say so? Because I know in 3 months' time, the Team Unity government will be the most unpopular government in the history of St. Kitts and Nevis. Because a pure bubble them a come with. A pure tricks them a come with. I said, because it will take 3 months for you all to realize that the team unity government is a farce, is a waste. 3 months it's going to take before the team unity government become unpopular. 3 months before you realize that you were duped, you were lied to. 3 months for you to realize what you gave up. Them people over Marriott, you gave up $1,500 instead of $1,000 for those persons affected by the COVID-19. Civil servants gave up 15% increase, which they would have gotten in 1 month. And we gave up a solid plan to keep the country on track in these trying times. So I told them, right now, I cool. They say I'm out, and I must stay out. And I'm very obedient. You know, I still cannot believe that we sold our souls for a mess of pottage, especially in number 8, you know. Now I want to tell you all something. Dr. Jew is a good man. He's a better man than me. He's a good man. And he has offered to serve you in a larger capacity than he does now. He continues to be committed to your service or the service of you. But I don't want you to take him for granted. I don't want you to take advantage of him, you know. So I don't want a lot of you to go up to the man and tell him that you voted for him when you did not. He knows if you voted for him. So even though he continues to be good to you, it is because he is a good man, and that is his nature. But he already knows that you promised to vote for him, and then you went to the polls and you did not vote for him. He already knows that some of you promised to vote for him, and then you get paid and you didn't vote for him. It ain't hard to figure out. It's in the numbers. He can look at the numbers and he knows who voted for him and who didn't. He ain't got to know directly by way of how you mark your paper. It's when you look at the numbers. You understand? So I don't want you, if you don't vote for him, pretend that you did. Here is what I am saying to you. It looks like you could get another chance very soon to do the right thing and vote for Dr. Jew. It looks so. I believe that the opposition will prove its case and that the courts will mandate by-elections in a couple of constituencies, including number 8. So what I want to tell you, be ready. Be ready. Gene will not be allowed to run because he will be considered a criminal. Because a case of bribery, inducement, and cheating will be proved against Eugene, and he will be disbarred from running in any election for 7 years. Mr. Impact. Sorry, now I say name, Mr. Impact. Lord of mercy. My dear people of Kayan, I love you. I love you. But you all were wrong. He never performed, yet you rewarded him. Now, if it is the case that Eugene can't run. It will be good riddance. Good riddance, Mr. Impact. That's why he say name. What impact he had. 15 houses in 5 years in Kayan. And you in charge of NHC. Kayan your hometown. Kayan your stronghold. And now you got the issue with no water. No water. And nobody can hear a peep from you. You have not even thought it best to hold a town hall meeting soonest in Kayan. I just read something today on Facebook. And one of my good friends says, oh, everybody talking about no water in Kayan and blaming Team Unity and saying that is what all you vote for. But Labour no had no plans to fix the water situation in Kayan. How you mean Labour ain't had no plans to fix the water situation in Kayan when Labour already had contractual arrangement with Bede to look for water in Kayan, and then patches come in and discontinue the arrangement? How you mean? You see, you got to understand. Voting got consequences. There was a plan afoot more than 5 years ago to fix the water problem in Kayan. It's 5 years Team Unity in office. It's 5 years they know that there's a problem in Kayan. It's 5 years they did nothing. And here is what I told you all. This is not a new government. It's a continuing government. Albeit an interim government until the court decides. But this is not a new government. The problems you have now were the problems 5 years ago. Eugene did nothing. 4 years ago, Eugene did nothing. 3 years ago, Eugene did nothing. 2 years ago, Eugene did nothing. 1 year ago, Eugene did nothing. And a couple of months ago, you vote him back in. Because he said he's Mr. Impact. Now you're feeling the impact of his non-performance. But it has a way of working out that way. That is how it does work out. You know, let me take a break before I get too animated. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more things. Alright?
I love being in the latest style and dress fine, or should I say classy. That is why I shop at First Class next to the taxi stand at Port Sante for fine gold and silver jewelry in precious, semi-precious and colored stones, diamond and crystal watches, and the hottest handbags and wallets. And when I want to buy a gift for someone, that's easy too. I just ask them to make me a gift basket, and First Class has the best prices at Port Sante. So no matter what the occasion, come on into First Class and leave happy, knowing you've gotten the best deal for your money. It's First Class at Port Sante, where quality, low prices, and top-notch service are second to none.
Spread the word. New and exclusive every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Gospel Cafe with Carl D. Springate on KYSS FM 102.5. Tune in and connect with the Holy Ghost Connection with live interviews, Christian news, what's hot and what's not in the now. Birthdays and anniversary shout-outs available, Bible Jeopardy, Beyond the Pulpit, and positive entertainment and ministry. Testimonies and the pastor's moment with Spread the Word. So tune in as we drop the latest gospel hits, 100% flat. It's the Carl D. Springate Gospel Cafe, Sundays from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KYSSFMonline.com and 102.5 FM. And be blessed like that.
One fashion accessories for really low prices. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Beauty supplies and weave, genuine fragrances. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Handbags so beautiful, your friends will envy how you look. With perfume to smell just right, you'll feel like you're in paradise. Watches, silver jewelry, and hair accessories. Check silver and cents in the Amri Mall on Keon Street.
Ready or not, hear my clothes, you can't hide. I'm gonna find you and make you
Nobody tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing.
I'm Shaniel Francis.
And I'm Dijon Webb.
Kyssfm 102.5 is proud to announce its brand new morning show, Backchat, the only place to hear the hottest music.
From local
Check the area code, direct the area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the
to international.
Ay, I go shopping, want it then I cop it. Ay, yeah, bitches popping, I do what they copy.
and have you informed with a range of topics.
tell me nothing.
So on Mondays to Fridays, tune in at 8 to 11.
Tell me nothing.
You won't want to miss the vibes on
Backchat.
Ready or not, you're my crew.
I wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody knows the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. A delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle, and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One issue I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, some idiot keep fucking it out the root. Make country flowers in it, fuck it up. Make country producing it, fuck it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of the politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who fucking up me country.
Welcome back to the Rebuttal. I'm Douglas Wattley, your host. We had started talking about the situation in Keon with respect to the candidate and his non-performance, and we started talking about the water situation. Now, people are ridiculing Keon and Keon people because they know how strongly the people in Keon supported Eugene. They know that notwithstanding his non-performance, they came out in the numbers and voted for him. That is why he's back in office. That is why he's back in office. And you cannot even come out and give the people a word of comfort. But let me ask you this, Mr. Impact. Are you intending, do you intend to open schools in Keon in September with the water problem unsolved? Need I remind you that you need water for basic sanitation? Will you let our students use the toilets without the ability to flush and wash up afterwards? Are you guys planning for a case or cases of cholera in our schools? Because if it start in the school, it's going to spill over in no time in the community. And cholera is a killer, you know. In no time, cholera could cause serious mayhem in the country. The water situation requires urgent attention. It requires urgent solution. You see, the people in Keon already voted for Gene. So to hell with them. You already showed him how much you love him and regardless of his lack of performance, how you will vote for him no matter what. That is what you tell him. But I am saying, all that I am saying is at the very least, say something. Tell the people where the situation on the ground stands. What is the true situation and how it will be fixed and when. These are basic things you need to do. I'm telling you this. When in 2001, I was made PS of the Ministry of Public Works, Utilities, Transport and Post. In our strategic planning session, had all these guys brainstorm and come up with the issues that we need to address. And one of the issues they brought to the discussion was the water situation in Keon. Now you got to understand the history. And this is how I got it from the water engineer then. He said that back in the day, the Keon source was actually built and developed by the sugar factory, because the sugar factory needed fresh, clean water for the manufacture of sugar cane, of sugar from sugar cane. And so they invested the money and built the source. And that is why we grew up seeing a situation where the water during the crop time was pretty much diverted through St. Peter's down to the sugar factory. But later on, you had a situation where that was discontinued. And so you would think that the problem would be fixed. Now, in 2001, when I was in that ministry, the problem came up, and that was before we discontinued sugar manufacturing in St. Kitts. But the matter came up like I just told you. And I went to cabinet during the budget discussions, and I presented that case. I said, look, the people in Keon are suffering. Nobody voted me, But I was the PS in that ministry. And I was passionate because I'm from Keon. And I presented the case. I said, we need to put money in. By then, the problem was one of water storage. They said that we needed more storage, which meant we needed additional reservoir. So that is what I was arguing about. I said, we need to put a second reservoir in Keon. And that would help with the water situation. And they shout me down. That was under the Denzel Douglas administration, They say, Wattley, no, we can't handle that right now. And I left it in the document, So it was produced in the estimate. I didn't take it out because I know how they work. Because now coming closer to the election, when everybody in Keon start to go on and make noise, they can't get no water, me included. Guess what happened? They called me in cabinet. So when I went in cabinet, they said, Wattley, man, how come you didn't realize that Keon had a water problem? How come you all didn't make allowances to fix the water problem in Keon? I said, hold on. I said, turn to page 89. I don't remember the page exactly, but whatever the page was, I'd memorize it then. I said, turn to page 89 and read XYZ. And when you read it, it was right there. The ministry, at my direction, had proposed new water storage, a reservoir for Kayan. And I remember the Prime Minister said, that's Dr. Douglas, he called Wendell Lawrence, who was not cabinet on that day. He called Wendell Lawrence. When Wendell Lawrence came, he told Wendell Lawrence in front of me, he said, Mr. Financial Secretary, we need a reservoir in Kayan. He said, look, man, care where you get the money from. I need money to build a reservoir in Kayan. Lo and behold, a reservoir was put in Kayan. And the water situation was ameliorated, at least for the time being. Because you see, the water situation has become a problem again. But at that time, for several years thereafter, Kayan had the kind of water problem that it used to have because we had additional storage, which is what the technocrats said was the problem and the solution. That is the kind of thing you expect now. But these boys, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know their ass from their elbow. And so you suffering. And then some people gonna want to tell me, well, now I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna see that I just disagree sometimes with my brothers. Because Big Lice said on his Facebook page that this isn't a political issue. Or maybe he was saying he wasn't trying to make it a political issue. But it is a political issue. Because these types of public problems are solved by government. Government that people vote into office. That makes it a political issue because government and the type of government you have has to do with the choice of the people. And if the people choose to put in a government that is inept, that is non-performing, that is awful in every way, then the results you're going to get in society would reflect that government. And so, yes, it is politics. Because you put in a government that doesn't know how to perform as a government. And as such, we fail to realize that we have to listen to the voice of the people. By now, there should be a plan as to how you're going to fix this problem. Whether you're going back to the people that Labour had contracted, or you're going to find new people. You have to determine what is the problem, what's the scale of the problem, and how you're going to solve it. Back then, the problem was one of storage, and we brought in a new reservoir, and that solved that problem. All right? Here's my question. Would a reservoir help in any way right now? That is my question. Maybe it would. Well, if a reservoir could help in the interim, build one. If it requires a new source and the source is underground, go drill for water. If it's a distribution issue because you haven't run the pipes and so forth that you need, do what you got to do. But whatever it is you got to do, you must do so, and you ought to do so soonest because kids, literally thousands of kids are going to be dependent on water in the schools. And I am telling you, if you don't know about cholera, if you don't know about other waterborne diseases, and if you don't know about other diseases that could pass because of poor sanitation, you better go and read. And you better take a decision to protect our kids in school. You couldn't say, but I mean, I got no kids in a school, Right? No, you ain't got no kids in the school. But whatever a kid pick up at school, they could bring it home. And they could give it to your cousin, your brother, your child, and that child could bring it home by you. So we're not immune to what is likely to happen. Here's what I'm just saying, man. Mobilize the resources, determine the issue, which is the problem, right? Investigate the problem, you'll know the extent of the problem and move forward with solution options, rank order your solutions, and then move to execute. This need not be a problem for a very long time. All right? It need not be. If not, pray that the courts decide that the elections were messed up, the elections had too many irregularities and illegalities, and that we would have another shot, so that the second shot you can put in a government with a tried and true record, a tested record, a government that has proven in the past that it could perform. Because I don't know what these jokers doing. On that note, I'm going to take another break, and then we will come back and continue the discussion.
I love being in the latest style and dress fine, or should I say classy. That is why I shop at First Class next to the taxi stand at Port Sante for fine gold and silver jewelry in precious, semi-precious and colored stones, diamond and crystal watches, and the hottest handbags and wallets. And when I want to buy a gift for someone, that's easy too. I just ask them to make me a gift basket, and First Class has the best prices at Port Sante. So no matter what the occasion, come on into First Class and leave happy, knowing you've gotten the best deal for your money. It's First Class at Port Sante, where quality, low prices, and top-notch service are second to none.
Spread the word. New and exclusive every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Gospel Cafe with Carl D. Springate on KYSS FM 102.5. Tune in and connect with the Holy Ghost Connection with live interviews, Christian news, what's hot and what's not, in the now. Birthdays and anniversary shout-outs available, Bible Jeopardy, Beyond the Pulpit, and positive entertainment and ministry. Testimonies and the pastor's moment with Spread the Word. So tune in as we drop the latest gospel hits, 100% black. It's the Carl D. Springate Gospel Cafe, Sundays from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KYSSFMonline.com and 102.5 FM. And be blessed like that.
One fashion accessories for really low prices. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Beauty supplies and weave, genuine fragrances. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Handbags so beautiful, your friends will envy how you look. With perfume to smell just right, you'll feel like you're in paradise. Watches, silver jewelry, and hair accessories. Check silver and cents in the Amri Mall on Keon Street.
Ready or not, hear my clothes, you can't hide. Gonna find you and make you want me.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing.
I'm Shaniel Francis.
And I'm Dijon Webb.
Kyssfm 102.5 is proud to announce its brand new morning show, Backchat, the only place to hear the hottest music.
From local
Check me area code, me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the
to international.
Ay, I go shopping, want it, then I cop it. Ay, yeah, bitches popping, I do what they copy.
and have you informed with a range of topics.
tell me nothing.
So on Mondays to Fridays, tune in at 8 to 11.
Tell me nothing.
You won't want to miss the vibes on
Backchat.
Ready or not, hear my clothes.
I wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody knows the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. They're delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One issue I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, some idiot keep plucking it out the root. Make country flowers in it, pop it up. Make country producing it, pop it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of them politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who talking up me country.
Welcome back to the Rebuttal. I'm Douglas Wattley, your host. Let us talk just for a little minute about the Marriott situation. Because I had been telling you this for a while now. In fact, I believe I had been telling you this even before the election. I told you that the government is going to try to screw the Marriott workers over. And so they are trying. But the people ain't going to let them get away with it. I warned the workers. Didn't I tell them to get legal advice? I did. I know the people that you're dealing with. I know the people you're dealing with. They lie and it's other thief. Whatever you see going on with the workers at the Marriott is orchestrated by the government. But they ain't realize, St. Kitts people don't play with the money, No, St. Kitts people not play with the money. So they're telling the workers that they gave out all this money through the Social Security. That ain't got nothing to do with what the people at Marriott are supposed to get. They ain't got nothing to do with that. The money that the people at Marriott are supposed to get is supposed to come from the severance fund. That's separate. I mean, don't want to, that one of the things they may even try to do is when they pay your severance, try to take out whatever money they gave you as income support from the Social Security. Watch them, count your money. The workers are entitled to their severance after being laid off for 12 weeks. It has already been 12 weeks. It ain't like it's Marriott money, And it ain't even like it's government money. The money has been put into the Social Security for safekeeping. That's the only thing you got to do with Social Security, It was put there for safekeeping. So if the government take that money and pay you the $1,000 and the $600 and the $300 a month, they're very wrong. That money in the severance ain't supposed to be commingled with nobody else's money. It ain't supposed to be touched except to pay severance. And so that money is supposed to be there. Didn't the Prime Minister say that the government has put $12 million into the severance fund to show up the severance fund as part of the stimulus package? Where you cut style for now? Now it's time to pay it. Pay it. You see, or you think that I'm just a troublemaker, But listen this sentence from a letter I think the Marriott people got, or it was published somehow. There was a letter on the 2nd of July from the Marriott. And listen this, it says, and I quote, "We received information that because of the emergency powers regulations, that continuity of employment has not been broken. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Who did you receive that information from again? It had to be government. It had to be government advising them. The government is trying to cheat you out of your money. And listen to this. It says, and I quote, continuity of employment has not been broken. It means that you are still working in their eyes. So does that mean that you are going to be getting, that you are being paid? Because if you're still working, it means you're still getting paid. I'm telling you that with the help of the government, Marriott is trying to come up with some technicality to rob you. This is a straightforward issue. It ain't complicated at all. Because Marriott ain't opening for at least 2 seasons. This pandemic ain't nearly over yet. So here what me tell you. Get your money and manage it carefully. It's yours. You see how there was no fuss with Park Hyatt? Park Hyatt gave them the papers. They gone down by labor. Bim, boom, boom. That is because the employees at Park Hyatt were on the job for a short period of time. The severance pay for them is small. The same with Jacktar. Them they gonna get the money because the severance payout to them is small. But Marriott's severance payout is huge. Because they got people there for 10, 15, 20 years and so forth. That is why the government wants to collude with the Marriott to cheat you. Because it's multiple millions of dollars they got to pay. And like I said, they say they put money in the severance. We use it. And is he who say he got a ton load of surpluses. Plus now we know that he's selling passport like peas. Let him use all that money to pay you. And tell him you want your money now. Remember when he mean want Douglas make him Prime Minister say, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. Well, tell him the same thing you want, your severance now. You ain't gonna say it as colorful as he did, but you want your money now. Now play with them. Don't play with them. Every opportunity they get to cheat you, they're gonna cheat you. Before the election, you know, they want you to believe they got all the money in the world. During the election, they want you to believe they got more money than God because of that they used to buy the election. Well, how come after the election now, things tight? How come after the election he want to tell you, count your blessings, name them one by one? Well, how come he didn't tell you that before the election? Eh? And you need to get your money because I know you all don't see all them pictures of people getting paid to do nothing. Well, you don't put in your hours, you know. And by law, you're entitled. And you should make sure you get your money. Don't let them fool you. Don't let none of them fool you. Married people, you got to stick together. This ain't that one ain't not a political issue, you know. Because if you go play politics and say, well, I vote for them, so if they not pay me, it's all right. That's a you problem, you know. But that ain't the position you're supposed to take. You have to say, I am entitled, and so I must receive what is owed to me. That is the position that I expect you all to adopt. Don't play with them. I'm sure you notice that every chance they get, they're going to do for themselves and they're going to do for their family, and they're going to do for their friends. Them they must get. But you don't look like you're going to get unless you fight for what is rightfully yours. Stand up. When we finishing tonight, I'm gonna play a song by Element. That's gonna be my new outro, my new song to finish the show. I'm gonna play it tonight. I want all to listen it all the way through. It's a song by Element. I think it's called Stand and Fight. I want you to listen to it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna pause and then we'll come back and we'll close out the show.
I love being in the latest style and dress fine, or should I say classy. That is why I shop at First Class next to the taxi stand at Port Sante for fine gold and silver jewelry in precious, semi-precious and colored stones, diamond and crystal watches, and the hottest handbags and wallets. And when I want to buy a gift for someone, that's easy too. I just ask them to make me a gift basket, and First Class has the best prices at Port Sante. So no matter what the occasion, come on into First Class and leave happy, knowing you've gotten the best deal for your money. It's First Class at Port Sante, where quality, low prices, and top-notch service are second to none.
Spread the word. New and exclusive every Sunday from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Gospel Cafe with Carl D. Springate on KYSS FM 102.5. Tune in and connect with the Holy Ghost Connection with live interviews, Christian news, what's hot and what's not, in the now. Birthdays and anniversary shout-outs available, Bible Jeopardy, Beyond the Pulpit, and positive entertainment and ministry. Testimonies and the pastor's moment with Spread the Word. So tune in as we drop the latest gospel hits, 100% flat. It's the Carl D. Springate Gospel Cafe, Sundays from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KYSSFMonline.com and 102.5 FM. And be blessed like that.
One fashion accessories for really low prices. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Beauty supplies and weave, genuine fragrances. Check silver and cents. Check silver and cents. Handbags so beautiful, your friends will envy how you look. With perfume to smell just right, you'll feel like you're in paradise. Watches, silver jewelry, and hair accessories. Check silver and cents in the Amri Mall on Keon Street.
Ready or not, hear my clothes, you can't hide. I'm gonna find you and make you want me.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing.
I'm Shaniel Francis.
And I'm Dijon Webb.
Kyssfm 102.5 is proud to announce its brand new morning show, Backchat, the only place to hear the hottest music.
From local
Check me area code, direct me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the
to international.
Ay, I go shopping, want it then I cop it. Ay, yeah, bitches popping, I do what they copy.
and have you informed with a range of topics.
So on Mondays to Fridays, tune in at 8 to 11.
You won't want to miss the vibes on
Backchat.
Ready or not, hear my clothes.
I wanna fly high up to the sky. I'm living in the mountains. Everybody knows the soil so fertile. If a man sit down naked, the seeds might grow. They're delightful getaway from the hustle, bustle and tricks. Oh, what a natural fix if you don't like to mix with the politics. One issue I have to resolve. If I could sort it out, all problems solved. Every time I plant corn and it start to shoot, Some idiot keep talking it out the root. Make country flowers in it, bark it up. Make country producing it, bark it up. Country start to blossom. I don't know who or where they come from. Me blind neighbor say he saw a man resembling one of the politicians. I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly who talking up me country.
Welcome back to the Rebuttal. Just like that, an hour is up, and so we have to close out. I'm still promising to do more than an hour, but right now we're stuck with an hour for the time being. You all want to hear what I hear? I can't prove it, but I hear them say that Hamilton pay a fella to vote with a check. Now, but if that is true, right, that would be some serious joke. You say pay a fella with a check to vote for him, buddy. But I don't know if I must believe that. But that is what I hear. Eh? Now, here is something else I heard. I heard that some of them Spanish getting rounded up. Spanish getting rounded up because it sounds like some of them might end up on the stand on the penalty of perjury to answer whether they got money for the votes. Now, I wonder why is it they want to round them up. What they want to say, deport them, attack them by petition. I thought they gave them the citizenship by marriage. So leave them alone. Right? Find that out for me. But is what I hear. I just share it with you all. Right? I can't wait for these people to be in the box on the penalty of perjury and be forced to answer certain questions. I can't wait. Because you see, when you ask a question, that's the funny thing about law. When you ask a question, the person in the box don't know what you know. And so they don't know if you're setting them up to lie. And so knowing the consequence of lying, they're going to tell the truth. Because they may lie and be caught in a lie. And that's perjury. All right? And so that is the beauty about putting them in the box and asking them questions. That is why these election petitions are going to be so much fun. I wish I could have been there. These going to be a lot of fun. When Elvin Bailey get into that box there, we're going to get joke. You're going to get joke. Because they got to tell the truth. No matter what they say otherwise, they got to tell the truth. And so I'm waiting for that. Before I close, the other thing I'm waiting for, I want to see who on the Social Security Board and who on the NHC Board. Because after you realize what happened with Lindsay and the people Lindsay put, and he board up the port, right? And obviously Lindsay not take on nobody. He just do what he want to do. And when you consider that Eugene can't send no name over to Tim and tell him put that person on National Bank Board. Eugene can't send no name to Tim and tell him put that person on Development Bank Board. So I want to know who Eugene gonna put on his board for Social Security and for NHC. Because everybody supposed to resign and you're supposed to start afresh. I personally have no problem if you put Mark the first. Because Mark the first, notwithstanding Mark is a brother, Mark has relevant experience. So there, I just give you clearance. You could put mark on the board. Because I know you. Tim gonna send over he people them name and tell you, put them on the board. Not if you might consider, put them on the board. Because remember, Len is his eyes and ears on Social Security. You only gonna have Social Security. So, you ain't gonna control nothing, son. You weak. They push you around. You only good for people like me. Thief me money. On that note, y'all good night. I'm gonna talk to y'all next week. Take care. Have a good evening.
Let us address the situation in the Caribbean as follows. Listen up. We complain and complain all year long. We condone and promote all that's wrong. Some of us have all that we want, all that we can get, and we still want more. But I find we lacking spine and personal conviction, cause we seem to lose we head whenever there's an election. You get a little piece of money and entertainment to dry your tears. Then it's victimization and heavy taxation for 5 more years. So if you're tired getting burned and still you would learn, you have to stand and fight. Stand and fight. This is a democracy. You can't accept, it's called agree. You have to stand and fight. Stand and fight. You must believe in order to achieve. You can't be meek and turn the other cheek. You know they ain't treating you right. Can't sit back and take it light, because they're flying you high like a kite. So stand up, stand up, stand up and fight. Strangers come first in our land. They get all that they want on demand, while we disrespect our own, touting egos that are overblown with envy and greed. We are too quick to condemn each other to suffer, to disagree with the leader, dog, eat your supper. But just like the Berlin Wall, the biggest and the baddest go have to fall. Since we will not stoop to conquer, let them know, surely we will not crawl. If there's gold in the rock, you tired beg and you tired knock, what you gonna do? You gotta stand and fight. Stand and fight. If progress you want to see, I better life with prosperity, what you gonna do? You have to stand and fight. Stand and fight. Face the facts. No time to relax. While you wait, them old teeth going to the gate. Things blacker than midnight. Frustration now reach a height. It's we the masses who have the might. So stand up, stand up, stand up and fight for your right. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. Paid to sing on anybody. Singing it as I see, as I feel. I like the hard-working man can't find peace. Criminals have more guns than police. They terrorizing the tongue, hiding behind them politicians with no fear of jail. While justice seems only for a few selected, them criminals get promoted and respected. No accountability for the funds in the treasury. Yes, they openly spree on taxpayers' money while taxpayer belly empty. Murder! We are constantly used, being lied to and abused. We had to stand and fight. Stand and fight. All that we have to live, they can't take all while they make us give. We have to stand and fight. Stand and fight. Politics is very dirty tricks. They make us throw bricks. Now they're giving us plenty licks. I know they just don't care. We must demand we share. They treated we like blight. So stand up.